Section 11 of Alcatraz of the Starways by Henry Hasse and Albert DePina. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Cindy J. M. Section 11. No sign of the asteroid. Mark Denning's voice was harsh as he addressed the restless group of men milling in front of the laboratory. We've picked up Earth's fleet, that is all. It's now proceeding beyond the orbit of Mars. Come in and watch if you wish, but it may be hours yet. The clang and clamor of the furnaces had long ago ceased, as Vulcan awaited the outcome of the space struggle that would mean so much to them all. Since Karsten's betrayal had become known, the men had discussed the situation from every angle. Paradoxically, they hoped for Luthor's victory so they could deal with the Martian half-breed. At the very worst, death was better than paradigm, which surely awaited them again if Earth won in this crisis. As Earth's fleet in awesome array advanced toward the asteroid's position which Cynthia had given, Aladian kept a ceaseless vigil at the televise. In far-off Navarre, the palace grounds were a sea of upturned Venusian faces intent upon their screen. Darvajo sat brooding on his barbaric throne on Mars, his craggy face dark with passion, thinking of the upstart Luthor who had wrecked his plans. Within the austere council chamber of Earth, the coordinator paced to and fro before the screen, while the awed council didn't dare to stir. It hadn't been hard for the ethroscreens of each world to pick out the flaming majesty of Earth's fleet, and they had followed its progress for hours. The meteoric speed seemed a snail's pace across the respective televised panels. "Look!" Aladian cried, spilling the cup of hot concentrate Cynthia had brought to her. With electrifying suddenness, the scene in the panel had leapt to vivid life. Concentric whorls of green, disintegrating light flashed from all units of Earth's fleet simultaneously, merging into a single appalling cloud that preceded the fleet itself. To the watchers, the spread of the light seemed slow, but it must have encompassed thousands of miles. "But why?" Aladian breathed, even as she twisted the dials trying to center the scene more perfectly. "They're not within hours of the asteroid belt, and they will only give their position away to Luthor." Karsten, Mark, and the others had come crowding into the room to watch the scene. Karsten whispered exultantly, "That green light is radioactive, disintegrating energy. It merges with whatever it touches, unbalancing the atomic structure of metal. Wait till they envelop Luthor's asteroid in that." "Yes, I know it well," Aladian murmured. "They used it in the long war against Venus, but there is a neutralizing force now, which even Earth does not know. George Marnick developed it right here on Vulcan base." Karsten's lips curled, but he said nothing. The sight of Earth's mighty armada sweeping forward on its mission had instilled him with a swaggering confidence. They continued to watch the scene in silence, even as the Earth Council and the people of Venus and Darvajo on Mars were watching. Still the fleet swept forward. Minutes passed. The greenish half-circle of light preceded it, beating back the darkness, expanding unimaginable distances as though reaching out greedy hands. Then suddenly, Aladian's words came true. From a point in space, far in advance of the fleet, a tiny white beam of light became visible. It reached out like a slashing saber, swiftly expanding and closing the gap of darkness. It came from the asteroid itself, now revealed to the watchers for the first time, merely a tiny dark mass that seemed to move forward with infinite caution against the fleet. "There it is," Mark breathed. "Luthor has carried his plan through. He's made a rogue asteroid of it. Moved it clear out of the belt." Words ceased as they watched the preliminary maneuvers. The asteroid's slashing saber of white touched the disintegrating power of the green, but it was the green that disintegrated. Slowly, almost caressingly, the pale beam moved across the advancing blanket of light. Where it touched, the green dissolved magically, as though it had never been. "That's what I meant, the etheric inertia ray." Aladian's murmur was tinged with exultation as she sensed Karsten standing beside her, taut with surprise. Still, the Earth fleet moved forward in battle formation, in staggered horizontal tiers. Impelled by the terrific momentum, it depended upon maneuverability to escape the impending danger. But, inexorably, the asteroid moved forward also, as if hungry to meet its enemy. Limed behind its own ghastly light, it was revealed as a leisurely rotating mass of rock and mineral, with jagged pinnacles reaching out and deep black gullies agape. A blinding lance of electric blue lashed from Earth's flagship, like a probing finger searching for a weak point. It stabbed Luhor's white ray and ended in a coruscating upheaval of incandescent light. The asteroid was very close now. It seemed as if nothing could prevent that sidereal mass, some 10 miles in diameter, from plowing through the tiers of Earth's spacers. But in that veritable moment when disaster seemed certain, Earth's massed fleet executed one of the most spectacular feats of navigation the universe had ever witnessed. The units literally broke apart and moved outward into a perfect cone-like formation, with the base or open end toward the asteroid. Again the green radiance from all sides now went out to envelop the asteroid in a glaucous sheath as the dark mass drifted into the trap. "This is it," Carson gloated hoarsely. "Now watch your asteroid crumble." The others said nothing. All were tense as the tiny 10-mile world entered the open end of the cone to what seemed certain destruction. Now the white etheric inertia ray lashed out savagely again, sweeping in swift arcs, but failed to dispel the concentrated waves of green fire. Then, from the surface of the dark world, Luhor's own space fleet arose, 6 cruisers only, dwarfed in size by some of the Earth's larger ships. With blinding speed, the 6 allotropic cruisers headed for the closing jaws of the trap. The Earth commander was not prepared for such acceleration. It was unbelievable. He had little time to think as Luhor's cruisers blasted with the raking fire of electro-cannon at close range. 3 Earthships went hurtling end over end through the void, ripped from stern to bow. Impervious to the wildfire of Earth's fleet, the allotropic cruisers plowed on. 2 Earth cruisers at the jaws of the trap were unable to maneuver in time. Luhor's ships in a straight line hit them head on, plowed through them and out again, leaving behind a tangled wreck of twisted girders and scattered debris. Luhor's 6 ships were out of the trap now, and they wheeled in a mighty arc, hung chain-poised as though to watch. Behind, the now glowing asteroid erupted the real destruction. This had been Luhor's plan from the first. The balance of men taken from Pendulum Swamp, left on the bleak little world to fight for their lives, now released hidden rocket tubes that blasted in perfectly spaced rotation. The rocky world began to spin as it plunged ponderously forward. Bank upon bank of electro-cannon lashed out like uncurled blue lightning. Atomite bombs burst among Earth's fleet, which surrounded this deadly pinwheel. In less than a minute, Earth's vast armada was completely disorganized. Space had become a shambles of ripped metal plates, twisted rocket tubes, and blasted hulls. Like a livid, craggy corner of hell running rampant, the rogue asteroid spun faster and faster, spewing annihilation. But this was its death throes. The concentrated disintegrating glow had taken effect and could not now be stopped. The craggy world began to crumble in great masses of rock and metal like a leprous organism. The few remaining units of the Earthian fleet tried desperately to escape the disintegrating lethal mass, but behind them now, at a safe distance from it all, Luhor's ships barred the way. Piteously, his electro-cannon raked them, impervious to their erratic salvos. His flagship, with its impossible speed, darted among them like a cosmic scimitar, until barely a half a dozen of Earth's former armada were able to flee in scattered disarray. Half a dozen. Out of more than 100. Contemptuously, Luhor did not even deign to pursue. Where an immense battle fleet and a dwarf world had battled for supremacy in space, now only shattered metal fragments and a disintegrated rain of mineral and rock remained veiled by cosmic darkness. End of section 11.